Greetings and welcome to Lizard Creations. Today I'm going to show you how to change a TPMS sensor on a wheel. The first step is to remove the core from the valve stem and let the air out of the tire. Once the air is out of the tire, you can then break the bead. To break the bead, I use a jack and the trailer hitch on my truck. Make sure that the jack base is nowhere near the rim. I keep weight on the back of the tire just so it doesn't lift as I jack. Once I've broken the bead on one side of the tire, I will rotate it and break the bead on the other side. Again, make sure that you clear the rim of the wheel before you start jacking. In order to get clearance to work on the TPMS sensor, I pry the tire down with a couple of sticks and then I insert some 2x4 pieces just to hold the tire away from the rim. To provide even a little more clearance, I use long jaw vice clamps to compress the tire even more. To remove the TPMS sensor, I start by removing the screw that holds it to the valve stem. I use a 1/4-inch drive ratcheting wrench and a Torx bit. Once I have the screw loose enough, I'll attach a magnet to the end of the Torx bit and then unscrew it using my fingers. The reason I use the magnet is to ensure that I don't drop the screw into the tire. Once I've removed the screw, the old TPMS sensor comes off easily. To remove the valve stem, you cut the internal seat off. Make sure you don't drop it in the tire. Before I install the new valve stem, I'll clean the internal seat with some Scotch-Brite, and I'll also put some Scotch-Brite on a socket and clean the outside seat. I'll blow off any loose dust or residual fibers from the Scotch-Brite pads using an air compressor. My TPMS sensor came pre-assembled, but I wanted to make sure that the valve stem had a good seat, so I removed the sensor from the stem so that I could pull the stem through and then rotate it to make sure it was seated properly. I use liquid dishwashing soap and I apply it to the area that's going to be pulled through the stem. It helps lubricate it as it's being pulled into place and helps with the seating. I put the valve stem through the hole and then I attach a valve stem tool and pull it into place. I align the sensor with the valve stem and then put the screw back in place using a Torx wrench with the little magnet attached. Once I have the screw finger tight, I'll use the little ratcheting wrench and tighten the screw into place. I rotate the sensor so that it's not making contact with the rim at any point. Now that the sensor's in place, I'll remove the clamps and the blocks. Before I inflate the tire, I'll clean the rim with a Scotch-Brite pad and then I'll blow any dirt out with a compressor. To help with the seating of the tire, I apply liquid dishwashing soap to the bead. The tire is now ready to be inflated to the proper pressure for the vehicle. The last step of the process is to put the valve cover on. As per my usual format, I'm showcasing two of my wife's paintings. The first one is Ram. It's an 11 by 15 watercolor on 140 pound paper, and it's in a 20 by 24 inch wood beige frame. The second is Blah Blah Blah. It's a 9 by 12 inch acrylic on canvas. Check out more of my wife's paintings at lizartcreations.com.